Again, welcome everyone to the Aggie Jumpstart meet and greet. My name is Nick Lee. I'm the Aggie Jumpstart coordinator. So you'll probably be seeing a lot of emails from me about the program. You might have seen me during Aggie Day. You might have seen me during one of the info sessions, whatever it might be the case. I know some of y'all had sent emails as well too, and I was probably the one answering those emails. So nice to meet a lot of y'all here today. Today, we're just going to talk about Aggie Jumpstart. You'll have a chance and opportunity to learn a little bit more about the program, but also learn a little bit more about the resources that we have to offer and what the program has to offer as well too. Before we start, I just want to say, first off, just congratulations to all of y'all for, getting accepted to UC Davis, but also officially becoming a part of the Aggie family. And so I just want to just congratulate everyone here today because definitely a good job for everyone here. And now y'all are taking the next step in seeking out resources that can possibly help you during your time here at UC Davis as well too. So let's go ahead and get started. So before we start, I just want to do a very quick icebreaker for everyone here. So I want y'all in the chat, you're going to have 30 seconds to answer each of these questions. So just in the chat, put in your answer. You don't have to say why, it doesn't have to be a lengthy answer, but feel free to put whatever answer that comes to you. But go ahead in the chat, just let me know what these answers are. All right, so let's go ahead and go for the first one. I can't find my cursor, sorry. All right, first one is, what's your hometown and major? In the chat, let us know, what's your hometown and major? And staff and advisors and students, feel free to, Aggie Jumpstart students, feel free to also chime in as well too. I see a lot of SoCal folks here. So I'm trying to go through the chat real quick. A couple of folks that are international from China. Awesome. What time is it in China right now? Some other folks from LA. See a couple of folks a little bit closer to Davis here, Sacramento. 7 a.m. Well, thank you for joining us at so early in the morning, all the way from China. Some folks from, out of state as well too, Portland, Oregon. Nice, nice. Different majors as well too. That's awesome. Feel free to keep chiming in with your hometown and your major if you get a chance to answer that. But we're going to move on to the next question. Definitely a variety of different areas, different places, as well as different majors. So that's always exciting to read about and see. So you'll see a lot more different folks from different places as you get onto campus when school starts. So, all right, next question here. Next question, if an alligator with wings got into battle with a great white shark with a jetpack, who do you think is going to win? Who do you think is going to win? Alligator or great white shark? I see two for alligators. I see a lot more for sharks. Okay, okay. Definitely a mixture there. I'm seeing a lot more alligators here. Alligator wings. If you want to tell us why, feel free to tell us why. You don't have to. That's true because of gills. That's a good question. Maybe not underwater. Maybe underwater. I don't know. Maybe both. Both scenarios. See a couple of folks for great white shark here as well too. All right. If you want to tell us why, reason why, Anyone who answered the question, feel free to let us know in the chat. If not, we're going to move on to the next question. Right now, what is on top of your refrigerator? If you're not at home, think about your home. What is on top of your refrigerator? Dust. I also have cereal up there as well too, and empty box of cereal that's probably been up there for a couple months now. See a lot of cereal, see a lot of dust. I think this is a reminder to clean the top of our refrigerators. Probably for me to do that when I get home. I see some plants as well too up there. Someone said rust. Okay. Greg with the Ziploc storage containers. Nice. Couple plants there in orchid. Yeah, cool. All right, let's go ahead and go to the next question just for the sake of time. You're a professional wrestler. What's your entrance song? If you don't want to be a professional wrestler, what's your theme song? What's the song that you gotta play when you're you want to walk out there? What's that song that's gonna be playing? Lily, what I'm gonna knock you out. LL Cool J. That's a perfect one. What are your theme songs? Anyone wants to share that? Eye of the Tiger. I'm Unbeatable. Okay, those are good ones, definitely. Cool. Feel free to let us know in chat what your interest song is. We're gonna move on to the next one. What's your least favorite food? Least favorite food? Food that you're like, I can't eat this. For me, it's probably Brussels sprouts there. I see a couple of fish. I see pickles, barbecue chicken, slimy eggplant. Very specific, Greg. Mushrooms, mac and cheese, shrimp cocktail, see shrimp, seafood, fish tacos. Oh, pineapple. See another someone else with pickles there as well too. Someone else is celery. All right. Next question. I think this is the last one. Last question here. How many seagulls would you have to find in your home before you suspect that it was a prank? Go back to the last question. Someone said pizza. Interesting. Uh, I see some really big numbers here. 22. Someone said just one. Lily said just one. Some smaller numbers here. Okay, okay. I'll probably go for a smaller number too, around like 3 to 5. Probably suspect that someone's playing a prank on me. And for those who said, 2022 or anything like that, why such a big number? You don't have to answer that. Just curious. All right. I think that was the last one. That was the last one. Yep. That was the last question. Thank y'all for um, just playing a little game with me there, telling us a little bit about yourself and what your style of thinking is as well too. So thank y'all for participating in that. If you didn't get a chance to answer, I think the most important one is probably your hometown and major. If you didn't get a chance to answer your hometown or major, feel free to let us know in the chat as well too. Um, but yeah, let's go ahead and move on to our meet and greet. And so I know we're virtual right now, but it's definitely important, especially since a lot of y'all will be here on campus in a couple of months. That we acknowledge land which we are standing on, or which UC Davis is on. So we should take a moment to acknowledge the land on which we are gathered. For thousands of years, this land has been the home of Patwin people. Today, there are three federally recognized Patwin tribes: Ketchadihi Band of Wintu Indians of the Clusa Indian Community, Quetzaldihi Wintu Nation, and Yochadihi Wintu Nation. The Puebloan people have remained committed to the stewardship of this land over many centuries. It has been cherished and protected as elders have instructed the young through generations. We are honored and grateful to be here today on the traditional lands. All right, so just a quick details here. We're going to disable the chat here, so if y'all have any questions, feel free to use the Q&A function on or through Zoom, I should say. So we're going to disable the chat just so that we don't get too many things going on there. Um, you could still message co-host or host if you need to let us know of anything. So feel free to still do that. But for any questions or anything like that, feel free to use the Q&A function, which should be at the bottom of your screen there. If it's not somewhere, I know Zoom's changed a lot since the last time I made this little graphic. So it might have changed, might be somewhere else. So as long as you're able to find that Q&A button, feel free to ask your questions there. But just a quick agenda of what we're going to be going over today. We're going to be going over just the Aggie Jumpstart overview. So just a little about what the program is. We're going to talk about the components, benefits, and outcomes. You have a chance to meet the advisors, meet our partners, and then meet some of our Aggie Jumpstart students as well too. And then we're going to talk about next steps, how to apply, and then we're going to talk about just give all y'all a chance and opportunity to ask us questions, whether it's related to UC Davis, whether it's related to the Aggie Jumpstart program, or just anything you want to ask towards the end there. And so we'll try to do our best to answer any questions throughout this entire time. And so if you want to save those questions until the very end, feel free to do that as well too, or you can ask them throughout and then we'll try to answer them throughout. But if we can't get to them during this whole session, we'll definitely get to them towards the end. So if we're not answering your question right away, don't take offense, please. We'll probably save it towards the end to answer those questions. All right, so just a little bit about the Aggie Jumpstart program. Through a variety of different events and resources, the Aggie Jumpstart students gain personal, academic, and professional skills and experiences to excel and enjoy life as an Aggie. So the program, Aggie Jumpstart program, supports students in making the life transition to UC Davis a lot easier, while connecting the students, to different networks of opportunities and continuing your self-growth as well too. So this program began in 2019, so it's a fairly new program. It's definitely free. Everything about this program is completely free. There's no additional costs. All the resources that we have for events. For example, we did let me see if I can turn this laser pointer. For example, we did a little vision board event here just this past spring quarter. And so all the resources that we have for that event, we provided events like, this obstacle course right here. We had all the resources, all the materials, all the supplies for that. It was all free. It was all provided for our students and for the event as well too. So everything about our our program is free, or we try to make it as free as possible. So if there is anything out there where it's like, we might not be able to do it, it might be at a lower cost, but we do try and make sure that whatever we're trying to bring to you, to the student, is free. So all our events are free. There's no cost for you to join, to do anything like that. Our target population, our student population, is generally first-generation low-income students, but we encourage and welcome all students within the College of Agricultural and Environmental Sciences to apply. And so these are just some pictures of our events here. We had a little Dance with Finance event, so some of our students learn about finance and all that good stuff, and then we had an opportunity to play Just Dance afterwards while we apply the things that we learned through the financial workshop through the power of dancing. We had a little Halloween event, Spooky Stories and S'mores, where we roasted some s'mores. We did an off-campus event at a local park here in Davis, where we did a little inspirational chalk, where we wrote a couple of inspirational messages and pictures on the sidewalk, on the concrete at our local park. And then we had, I already mentioned, our obstacle course event, and then we had our orientation event here, and then I also mentioned highlight here on this slide for all of you. So we try to have a lot of fun. Again, all of it is for free. So we try to do that as much as possible. So program components, some benefits, outcomes for Aggie Jumpstart participants, for students. Overall higher GPA or higher average GPA increases than non-Aggie Jumpstart peers of similar backgrounds in the College of Agricultural and Environmental Sciences. So for example, from fall to winter, winter to spring, we typically see a higher average GPA increase compared to non-Aggie Jumpstart students. So which is huge because we try to make sure our students succeed as much as possible through their academics, through their personal growth, through their leadership growth, things of that nature. Higher graduation rates for transfer students. So if you are a transfer student joining us today, there's higher graduation rates for our transfer students. Our first graduating cohort of first-year students was actually just last year. We had our second graduating cohort just this year. So again, like I said before, our program is really new, and so we just had our first graduating cohort just a year ago, and we just had our second one just this year. So it's a fairly new program, so an opportunity for you as a student to really make an impact on this program and to really share your feedback and tell us, what ways can we make to change our program so that way the next generation, next cohort of students can really benefit the aspects and the resources of this program. There's an increased sense of belonging and community support, meaningful mentorship relationships with College of Agricultural and Environmental Science advisors and CDG or Career Discovery Group TA mentors as well too. So we'll talk a little about Career Discovery Group as well as our advisors here in a few minutes. We have an opportunity to kind of hear from them. Career preparation, we'll talk about that here in a little bit as well too. Increased understanding of campus resources and events, and then quarterly rewards for participation in the program. And so we have a couple of different events that we sort of host. So we host community leadership and service events. Community events are really just social events, leadership events. You sort of learn things that can help build your leadership skills or personal growth. And service events are things kind of like community service events or community service work and things like that. And so we try to put on those events. And depending on how many events you attend, you have to meet certain requirements. You could earn at the end of each quarter anywhere between a $25 gift card, $50 gift card, or a $100 gift card of your choice. And so it ranges from anywhere between like a Target gift card to a Visa gift card to Starbucks, Pete's, Amazon. Probably forgetting one or two more, like the bookstore. There's probably other ones I'm forgetting right now, but there's definitely gift card options for you to choose from. And so by participating, being active in the program and on campus, you have an opportunity to earn those gift cards at the end of the quarter. And we also talked a little about advising. We're going to talk more about individualized advising here a little bit as well too. And of course, our career discovery group CDG course as well too. Just one thing that I've seen a lot of students ask as well too is, can I be in, for example, EOP or STEP as well as being in the Aggie Jumpstart program? And the answer is yes. You could be in the Aggie Jumpstart program as well as another program at the same time. So we definitely encourage you to do that. We might have the same resources, might have the same type of benefits and things like that, but overall, for example, Aggie Jumpstart, we really hone in on the on the College of Agricultural and Environmental Sciences portion of of your major, and so we try to help you kind of hone in on those as well too. So definitely you could be in more than one program here at UC Davis. Um, and then I just want to highlight some other events that we've had this past year. So we had again our chalk event here. We had a back-to-back drawing event where our students kind of worked together to kind of draw the similar image that the partner was describing while having their backs turned against each other. We had a marshmallow tower event challenge where students built towers out of marshmallows and spaghetti noodles. I think it's spaghetti noodles. And then we had a notes on kindness, which a lot of our students wrote different notes of kindness or drew them, and then they passed them out to to a variety of different students on campus. We talked about our obstacle course as well too, and then we had a distress event before finals here. And then we had our end of the year celebration, which happened just a couple of weeks ago, which was a carnival themed event where our students were able to just kind of hang out and just kind of celebrate the end of the academic year. We had an opportunity for our students to play some ring toss and some mini golf games as well too. So I just want to highlight some of our events here. And I know some students were also asking about like off-campus events, and so briefly talked about our chalk event. And so if there is any off-campus events, we typically try to make sure we have some sort of transportation for our students, provided for our students. We usually try to rent out like, vans and whatnot, and then we, drive our students over to whatever the location is. So that way our students don't have to walk over there or bike over there or take the public transportation like bus, which we still encourage you to do if you want to, or drive over there, but we try to provide that transportation for our students if there are any off-campus events that Aggie Jumpstart is hosting. For non-Aggie Jumpstart events that are off-campus, typically we don't provide any type of transportation for that. But if it is an Aggie Jumpstart event, we do try to provide transportation for those type of events as well too. We're gonna move on here to the next portion, which is our advisors. So meet the advisors. We have two amazing advisors. We have Greg Anderson and Lily Bynes, and they're here with us today. I won't talk too much about that, but I'll let them introduce themselves here. So Greg and Lily.
Hey everyone, so glad to have you join us, and it's nice to meet you. I'm Greg. I'm one of the two advisors here in Aggie Jumpstart. I'm definitely not the best advisor in Aggie Jumpstart, but I'm definitely second best. I did not go to Davis for undergrad, but I did go to UC Irvine. I was originally from Northern California and wanted to get as far away from home as possible. So I went down to Southern California for college. And then went to grad school at the Harvard Graduate School of Education for my master's. I'm originally, like I said, I'm from NorCal. I'm from San Jose originally, but like right on the edge of the country. So I grew up on a small ranch. So those of you coming from the country, I know that feeling too. A couple of fun facts or things about me. One of my favorite things to do on campus, you probably know that Davis is a place where a lot of people like to ride their bikes. It's flat, it's easy to get around, it's safe to ride your bike. In my office here, I've got a map back here. My long-term goal is I want to ride every single road or bike path on campus that I possibly can. Like I literally want to see all of campus via bike ride. So I do that during my lunch breaks or sometimes after work. And then another fun fact for me, I am a brand new dad. I have a 2-month-old daughter at home. So yeah, when you're here, I'm happy to tell you about her, show you a gazillion photos. I'll turn it over to Lily.
Thanks, Greg. I like that you said 2 months, not 8 weeks. You're not doing the weeks or anything. So my name is Lily Bynes. I use she, her, they pronouns. And something that Greg and I have in common is that I'm from San Diego, a large, county or area, but I also grew up in the country. It's not a requirement for advisors to be from large cities and be country folks at the same time. So I grew up a portion of my experience in the San Diego County area on one of our Indian reservations, and then lived in a small town outside of that shortly thereafter. And so lived around and the agricultural areas and all of that. And it just is happenstance that I work in the College of Agricultural and Environmental Sciences. I've been with Aggie Jumpstart since the beginning of the program. So it's been amazing to see students graduate from the program as well. A little bit about me is I went to Chico State. So went from San Diego all the way an hour and a half north of Sacramento is Chico. And I graduated with a degree in health science with an emphasis in education. I was really interested in public health and doing street outreach and working with marginalized populations and underrepresented populations. But as an undergrad, I was a peer advisor, and so after using my degree for a little while, I came back into the advising field, and that's a story for another time. So as I mentioned, from San Diego, I saw a shout out for Temecula on there. I saw some other San Diegans or close by. Something that I like to do is I like to walk in the morning. I used to not be a morning person, but during the pandemic, I started waking up at 5 a.m. Like, who does that? But I started to do that. 5 a.m. walking about 5 miles a day. But I really enjoy that time to myself, listening to some jams, some reggaeton, some reggae, some old 80s rock, all kinds of different things. So I'm always interested in that sort of polyamorous music affection, just all different genres. And so walking, hiking, and going to museums, those are the things that I kind of like to do, and really, digging deep into the record crates if possible. So I want to talk to you a little bit and transition to being an academic advisor and your engagement within the Aggie Jumpstart program, your engagement with us, with Greg and I. So you'll be assigned to one of us based on your career discovery group class, and we'll give you more information about that later. But you're going to have the same advisor the whole year. So you'll either be meeting with Greg the entire year, or you'll be meeting with me the entire year. The advantage of that is that we'll get to know you, and you're always welcome to meet with other advisors in the dean's office. But for the Aggie Jumpstart incentives, which Nick is going to go over a little bit further in just a few moments, you want to meet with us, you need to meet with us at least twice every quarter. So we take a holistic approach. We want to know everything, that you're willing to share about yourself. I like to ask, did you leave any dogs or cats behind? Who's at home? Do you have a little brother that's missing you? What food are you missing from home? Because all those things are going to help in understanding the transition to UC Davis. I might not have mentioned, but I'm also first generation in college, and I identify as Mexican or Latina. And so I definitely was missing home being in Chico and missing the tacos that were from the San Diego County. So if you get some taco homesickness, I am yours to talk to about the tacos in Davis and Sacramento area. So we're going to tailor that advising experience specific to you. 2 appointments per quarter, and we want to see you even if you don't have any questions. Those appointments are going to be tailored also to what is happening during that particular time of quarter. And Greg and I will always have a little bullet point list to go over with you based on you as well as what's going on in that quarter. We will send you reminders every quarter to come in and see us at least twice a quarter. And then you'll also have exclusive access to a separate calendar for us. There'll be an Aggie Jumpstart with Greg or Lily Bynes CAES VIPs. And so you'll learn a little bit more about that later, but you don't have to get in line per se for all of the other advisors in the dean's office. You have a very short wait to see us. And sometimes if the appointment times don't match your schedule or the urgency of your question or concern, you can just email us directly and we'll schedule you into our calendars as quick as we can. After your first year, you will maintain access to our exclusive calendars. You're just not going to get our quarterly reminders to come in and see us. And you're probably going to be seeing your major advisors or other folks on campus a little bit more. And we hope that that routine of seeing an advisor every quarter, good habits for you to be checking in with folks, even if you don't have a question, because there's always information to be received. So that's what I wanted to go over in terms of access to advising and your exclusive access as being an Aggie Jumpstart student. I'll pass it over to Greg.
So Lily just told you a little about how you can get access to advisors and our philosophy around advising. I want to tell you a little bit about what advisors will do for you, what Lily and I will do to help you out. So coming to college can be a scary experience. It could be really different from home. It could be a really big place. It's also a really exciting experience. There's a lot of things that you could learn, trying out new activities, meeting new folks. As advisors, we want to help guide you. We want to help you develop your options, think about your opportunities, and especially the ones that you hadn't considered or weren't aware about. Now, you might come in with ideas of all these things you want to do, and we are going to encourage you to do that and pursue those things. But we also want to make sure that you know of other things that are out there that you might not have been aware of. Davis as a campus is a big place. And so, like I said, that can be a little overwhelming, but the good news is that means there are tons of resources, tons of opportunities to get involved, to prepare for grad school or careers, to make friends, build community, get to know faculty and staff, do internships, research. There's loads of opportunities, and we're going to help guide you in that. We also are going to help push you a little bit because a big part of the college experience is growth. So we're going to challenge you to stretch outside of your comfort zone. We're not going to force you to, but we're going to give you some gentle encouragement to maybe try some things that might feel a little uncomfortable, but you think are going to be good for you and your growth as a college student and as a person. Now, we are not professional licensed therapists, but we are here to support you because there can be challenges with this transition. So we're here to support you in those tough times, to talk through the challenges that you're facing. And they don't just have to be academic challenges. If there are things happening outside of school, like Lily mentioned, we'll talk to you holistically about everything that's impacting you. And not just the challenges. We are here to celebrate you in the small wins and the big victories. I was just emailing with a student who she's in her 3rd year, but she and I have stayed in touch since her 1st year in Aggie Jumpstart, and she just passed a class that she was certain she was going to fail. So we're going to celebrate you too. Now, there's a phrase that I like to use a lot about your time in college is that you are the captain of your educational journey. And then there's a phrase that Lily clued me into, which I really liked, but we can be like your GPS system. So you get to decide where you go. You get to decide what your priorities and your goals are, but we can help you navigate and go towards that goals. Both your short-term goals, whether it's this quarter, this year, or your long-term goals like grad school, your career. And in addition, there may be more than one route to the destination that you have in mind. There might not just be only one major that goes towards your end result, or any just one internship that'll get you that job that you want in the future. There's a lot of services and resources available here on campus, some that work better for students and some other ones work better for other students. So we're going to help you get there and make the most of your journey along the way. So ultimately, that's what we're going to do for you. We are going to support you in all the ways that you feel like you need support, and it's going to differ for every student because each single one of you is an individual person, and we want to provide you the support that you need. And with that, I think I'll turn it back over to Nick.
Thank you so much, Greg and Lily. Yeah, I mean, our advisors, Aggie Jumpstart advisors, are really, really amazing. And so just to kind of follow up, their goal isn't just to help y'all with your academics. I mean, that's part of, their academic advising tool and piece, but they're really there to help you and support you and make sure that you grow as a student, as an individual throughout your time here at UC Davis. So thank you so much, Greg and Lily, for covering a little bit about what y'all do and about what advising is and all that good stuff. So if anyone has any questions, feel free to pop that into the Q&A. But if not, I'm going to turn it over to Elliot over here, who's going to talk about Career Discovery Group. Elliot.
Hey everybody, and this is Lewis, or no, this is not Lewis. This is Otis. He says hi. And this is my little foster kitten. The Career Discovery Groups is a really awesome resource that you have here that isn't available to anybody outside of the College of Agricultural and Environmental Science, and you get really kind of like the preferential path towards it. So it works. We were hearing a little bit about different ways to plan for your future, find some of the things that you need. My focus as a career advisor is to help folks find their way towards some of the jobs that they want. And we kind of all work in concert through this particular program here. That's an integral part of Aggie Jumpstart. So what is Career Discovery Groups? It's a year-long program, and it's for first-year students. It goes through the fall, winter, and spring. In the fall, we start off with, kind of getting connected, forming communities in these very small group classes. Some of your classes are going to be bigger, but these are no more than about 25. And then moving into the winter, there's some more content that we get into. In the spring, we go on trips. Transfer students are also included. They have kind of a sped up program because you've got a lot to do in those 2 years, more or less, that you're going to be here. And so we want to get you ready for certainly that summer internship after your first full year of school. Another really, really cool thing about the career discovery groups is that you get paired up with yet another mentor, yet another helper. In this case, each class section, about 25 students, is paired up with a graduate student who is an expert on not just, a particular kind of research, which they're really seriously an expert on, but also on campus climate, advice about how you might move in different directions that you'd like to. They really are our campus experts, so to speak. And then I work at the kind of level above, helping to do lesson planning. I teach some lessons in the winter as well. But I help to make sure that they're working together effectively. And in many cases, I've also done career advising appointments with students through CDG, through Aggie Jumpstart. One of them just recently, I was talking to about deciding whether they wanted to pick one of two different jobs, which is a pretty cool thing to go for. I think we've got maybe one more slide. Let's see. Here we are. So this is a little bit more information, kind of like the fine detail of what the program looks like. So in the fall quarter, those building connections, 1 unit class, pass, no pass. Our goal is not to give you tricky homework or to really give something that taxes you overly. It's more of a sort of incentive, I guess, like there are other incentives here to engage with others, learn about what's on campus, and have that head start towards, making use of the things that are around you that'll be helpful. Your support network, opportunities, ways that you can go. In the winter quarter, there's a grade because there's a little bit more that goes into this, but it's all super, super useful stuff. Getting your resume together, cover letter, references. My goal here is to make sure that whenever some particular job comes up, internship, whatever kind of thing that you're interested in, you won't say, well, it's due in 2 days and there's no way that I could get my documents together. You'll have something that's almost there. You'll just make some small adjustments. Many students even meet with me before applying to talk about just the last couple of details and then apply with something that looks better than most in almost all cases. Another thing that's pretty cool that's built into the winter is professional networking events. So we give you help with getting involved in career fair, bringing in professionals from different careers who will come in and visit your class and talk a little bit about some of the advice that they have, what they, in some cases, wish they did if they were able to go back to undergrad, how it's like to go to vet school or to get a job doing environmental science with the California state government, stuff like that. And then towards the end of the winter quarter, we have these poster presentations where you can learn about a particular career that you'd really like to have, put all the kind of the work into figuring out the details, and then you present it to your peers. And it's a really, really exciting event, the poster presentation. In the spring, and we just wrapped up with some of the trips, which I really think are the highlight. We kind of leave the best for last. There are no regular class times. And what happens instead is you attend typically 2 trips that are designed by your career discovery group's mentors. And so we go to places like, let's see, Oakland Zoo, the Bodega Marine Science Research Institute, a couple of different organic farms, the Davis Vet Hospital, vet medicine research facilities, the Raptor Center, not dinosaurs, but hawks and such. Water treatment plant, all sorts of different interesting things. And it's just for you all in the class. And so you get to go and kind of see a little bit of a day in the life, or what it's like to do some particular kind of job. In many cases, we have, especially with the food related ones, giveaways of different sorts. The goal ultimately is to better kind of elucidate what your career goals are, how you might take some steps to really concretely prepare you for the next step. And so through kind of showing you the resources, getting your materials together, and then going and taking a look for yourself about how things work, you get kind of that whole picture. And there's plenty of help along the way to really make sure that you get to where you want to go. For transfer students, like I mentioned, you want to have a little bit of a head start here because you have a little bit less time. And so we give you the abbreviated version, but there's still plenty of useful info. We focus on, in the short term, getting resume, cover letter, good understanding of campus resources, getting those all under your belt so you can apply in some cases for things where, even though it starts in the summer, applications go out in October or November. There's some things, especially some of the really, really, really cool summer internships, places like NASA, going to DC to do federal environmental science research, certain engineering firms. They bring folks in pretty early. And so we make sure you've got that all down pat really, really quickly. And then you get some of those same opportunities to connect with experts from the field that we bring in. And as time goes on, even though it's only this short period of time just in the fall where you get the career discovery group's experience, you remain connected with your graduate student mentor, with me. In many cases, transfer students have been the ones who have gone to career advising appointments with me because they have very concrete things that they'd like to do next. And so things are available. I'll bother you with things on email, jobs you can apply for, events that you can go to find a connection with a certain kind of organization. All that info is still available for you. We just want to really kind of speed you up and get you good to go right away. And I think this is probably it for career discovery groups here in the slides. Please feel free to put any questions into the chat if there's something I can help to answer. And know that I'm a resource really no matter what. I work as a career advisor specifically for the College of Agricultural and Environmental Science. And so from now, you can start meeting with me as early as now if you look into the system, all the way through graduation a year or two after. I'm here to help you out, help you troubleshoot, figure out where you want to go, and maybe if you change your mind, make sure that you feel prepared for some of those steps that you take. So big takeaway across everything, it's probably sinking in a little bit, is that there are a lot of folks, a lot of networks, a lot of information where we're trying to make sure that you can be your best and to give you support where you might like, or champion you when you're having these successful things happen. I think with that, I will pass it back on to Nick. Oop. I can also see if I can grab my cat again. I'll be right back.
Okay, so Nick just said his audio isn't working.
Uh-oh.
So let's see. And I was in the process of writing somebody back on the Q&A, so apologies for that. And I'm just looking, is your screen advance work, Nick? Who's up next? All right, we're gonna go ahead and move over to Rodrigo. Rodrigo Bonilla, my compadre from the other side of campus.
Hello,
So,
everyone. Can you hear me
hi.
okay?
Yes, go
Okay.
ahead.
Oh, sorry. I just wanted to make sure my audio was working. I was like, oh no. But thank you so much, Lily. I'm so excited to see everyone and welcome you to UC Davis. My name is Rodrigo Bonilla, and I have the honor and the privilege of serving as the director for the Chicanx and Latinx Retention Initiative here at UC Davis. And surely you'll learn a lot about what the academic retention initiatives do here at UC Davis in terms of supporting students. But before I get to that part, I want to tell you a little bit about myself. So I actually immigrated from Mexico when I was about 9 years old. I came to the United States. I immigrated to the state of Washington, which I'm not sure if folks are familiar with the state of Washington, but it's up north. I always tell people that folks have really never been to the state of Washington, and I guess there's really no need, right? The state of Washington is beautiful, but it's also a state I moved away from because I love California. So I immigrated to the state of Washington, and I went for my undergrad in Washington State University. I actually majored in agricultural food systems and also in agricultural economics. So I have a very long and rich tradition, or not tradition, but rather background with the agricultural industry. So I was a farm worker myself up until I went to college, and being able to go to college and actually study agriculture to learn about all of the things that I had grown up around my entire life was super fascinating. So after I went to Washington State University and I finished my undergrad, I came to UC Davis to do my master's in international agriculture development. I wanted to go into the international development world and build sustainable agricultural systems and build sustainable economic systems everywhere in the world. That was my dream. But then I had an amazing opportunity to reroute my career profession into the world of higher education, which is something that I feel even more strongly passionate about. And so that's how I ended up in higher education. And so just as a fun fact for me, even though I am in the world of higher education, I still have a very, very close connection to agriculture, and it means the world to me. And so I will tell you something that I actually don't typically get to share very often, but I actually love soil science. Soil physics and soil chemistry were some of my favorite courses in undergrad. I absolutely love it. And it's one of those things where people always just never think about soil, but it's the basis of all life, right? That's how we're able to produce food. That's how we're able to have a society where we can build buildings in and all sorts of things. And so I can talk about soil science forever. I still very much love science or soil science. So I want to tell you a little bit more about the academic retention initiatives and the work that I do now here at UC Davis. And so I am the director of one of 4 academic retention initiatives on campus that were established back in between 2014 to 2017. And the 4 academic retention initiatives that you see on the slide here, aside from mine, so actually I should start by naming each of the retention initiatives, but my retention initiative, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, is the Chicanx and Latinx Retention Initiative, which also has a center. That center is the Center for Chicanx and Latinx Academic Student Success, or what we like to refer to as El Centro, because that is a very long name to remember, and sometimes it can be very difficult to remember that name. So we just refer to our retention initiative or our physical space as El Centro. And then we also have our Strategic Asian and Pacific Islander Retention Initiative, and they also have the Office of the Strategic Asian and Pacific Islander Academic Support Office. And then we also have the Native American Retention Initiative, which has the Native American Student Success Center. And last but not least, the Center for African Diaspora Student Success, which is part of the African American Retention Initiative. And so all of these initiatives were established back in, like I said, 2014 to 2017, with the purpose of helping these communities specifically and acknowledging the fact that our communities have different challenges and different struggles as it comes to, when it comes to higher education, right? And so a lot of that was building a structure, a support system to be able to help our students navigate their undergraduate journey. And so each of the 4 retention initiatives has very specific types of programming that we do, but we all relatively have the same services. And so some of the services that we offer within the academic retention initiatives include also academic advising. We also have academic tutoring. So for math, chemistry, statistics, physics, we have tutoring in our spaces where we bring in academic tutors to help our students and really to help anybody, right, succeed academically. In addition to that, all of our spaces have therapists. So at UC Davis, we have what we call a community advising network counselors. And so these are community specific therapists. If any of you are interested in, for example, talking to a Latinx identified therapist, you can always come to me and I can make that referral directly for you. If you're interested in talking to a PI identified therapist or a Native identified therapist or an African-American identified therapist, right? You can go to each of those respective retention initiatives and they'll be able to connect you with someone from those specific communities. In addition to that, we also have quite a bit of programming and events that we do within our spaces. Something to note about the retention initiatives is that all of the programming and the events that we do are in mind of supporting our students academically, right? And so they can vary from a lot of different things, like having a workshop on it can be on like on how to navigate library resources, for example, to it can also be something like the slide mentions, which is, for me, we have Mental Menudo, where it's a community event where folks actually don't get to eat menudo, they get to eat pozole. But it's a workshop and an event that where we talk about mental health within the Chicanx and Latinx community, right? And there's also many other events like mine that are very similar in different spaces, right? So I know CADS also offers different mental health support workshops and programs and events. Same for the Asian and Pacific Islander Retention Initiative, and the same for the Native American Retention Initiative. And so one of the biggest takeaways for us is we are here to support your entire undergraduate journey. The moment that you got accepted to UC Davis, we also made a commitment to support you until you graduate. And so essentially what that means is that we provide any type of holistic support. So you can come to any of us, any of the retention initiatives, and you can always use this as a starting point, right? For any of the questions you might have. A lot of folks oftentimes don't necessarily know where to go to ask a question, for example, about financial aid, or to ask a question about how to utilize Schedule Builder, or to register for classes, or what classes they should register for, where to find a dean's office advisor, or anything like that, right? And I'm sure you all will definitely know in this group, right? But for any of your friends who are also first years who will identify as part of these communities, let them know that we're here on campus to support them and to support their academic success. And we can always be your starting point. We are very fortunate to have connections with everyone on this institution, with many of the different campus units. And so if you need to have a conversation with someone in financial aid, we can refer you to an individual. If you need to have a conversation with someone over in the writing center, right, we can connect you to someone. And so you can always think of us as a place where you can go as your starting point to be able to provide you with any academic support or any other support, right? We very much acknowledge the fact that our students come with a variety of different identities and experiences, and that influences the way that they experience college. And so for us, it's really critical and important that we acknowledge those identities and that we provide support in a way that's going to feel like it's actually support for you, right? Like in a way that's going to feel relevant. That's our ultimate goal. So With that said, I know we're a little bit over time, so I will cut it there. But it's a pleasure to see all of you and to get to meet all of you. We look forward to seeing you at all of our spaces for each of the academic retention initiatives. I would say definitely to keep an eye out for all of our open houses. We will all be having open houses right at the beginning of the academic year, so you can learn more about the programs, the services, and then also it is the perfect way to build community, to get to know other folks who are part of the same cultural identity that you might be in. So keep an eye out for those. Hopefully they'll be identified soon when those dates will be, and we'll make sure to send that information over to you. And I will pass it back to Nick.
Thank you so much. I think my audio is working now. Yeah. Okay, cool. Awesome. Sorry about that, y'all. It's not a Zoom meeting without technical difficulties. Yeah, so thank you so much, Rodrigo, for covering the retention centers, academic retention center initiatives. Really great resources, and we collaborate. Aggie Jumpstart program collaborates with them all the time. And I think this next slide kind of talks a little bit about some of those partnered events. So we did like a paint night with I think it was like last year, I believe. It was just a painting event with our students. I think we also did like back-to-back drawing. We saw a picture of that earlier. We did a little event where we kind of talked about what matters to each of our students, each of our staff members. And then I think we did a vision board as well too. And I think that's it. Yeah. Then we did a bunch of other ones as well too, which it couldn't fit into the slides, highlight all of them, but we have partnered with them. And so very great partners and very great collaborators, and their centers are really awesome as well too. So thank you again, Rodrigo, for covering that, telling the students a little bit more about the centers and what they have to offer as well too. And let's see. And then I just want to kind of go back a little bit and talk about CDG as well too. I was going to add a little thing about CDG, and it's just that CDG and the Aggie Jumpstart program are two different things. CDG is a class where you take it as a class, you get credit for it, whereas the Aggie Jumpstart program is more of a program. You submit things, but they don't really count for like, your grades or GPA or anything like that. It doesn't affect that. CDG, it does affect a little bit of that. And so I just want folks to be aware of that as well too. So there are two different things, but we do kind of partner and collaborate a little bit on those two things. So I just want to cover that a little bit before we kind of move into the next portion. The next portion is our student experiences, and we're going to hear a little about from our students, our Aggie Jumpstart students. I'm going to talk a little about their experiences with the program, and along with their experiences here at UC Davis. And so I believe the first person up is Michelle. So Michelle, where are you at? If you want to kind of talk a little about who you are and your experiences here within the program and at UC Davis.
Yeah, of course. Can you guys hear me correctly? Okay, great. Hi everyone. My name is Michelle. I'm going into my 4th year. I'm an animal science major. I'm originally from East LA, so I saw a lot of people who are animal science majors from LA. So I'm so happy to see you guys here and everyone else as well. I love all the representation from everywhere. My pronouns are she, her, hers. I am a low-income first-gen Latina, so I have a lot of experience when it comes to Aggie Jumpstart and everything that has to do with Davis, just because I've been here for so long now. A fun fact about me is in high school, I actually ran 3 marathons before, so I am an experienced runner. Not so much now, but definitely back in the day when I had much more time for all of that. Something fun that I like to do on campus is very cliche thing to say, but I really love to go visit the cows. It's a really good de-stressor for me, and I think especially right before finals, it's just a way to uplift my spirits and to try to kind of get me into the Davis spirit when it comes to pushing through with finals, because finals can get rough as it is quarter system and it goes by really, really fast. When it comes to Aggie Jumpstart itself, I love this program so much. I was in it my first year, way back when, 3 years ago. And I can say endless things of like really good things about this program. It's helped me not only just get through my first year, but just kind of get through college in general. especially when it comes to like, I guess, job building skills. That's one thing that I really, really took out of it. I actually have like the resource manual that they gave me my first year, and I constantly look back at this and I refer this to like all my other friends and stuff when it comes to like resume building and making a cover letter. And I'm really, really grateful for this program, and I think it's a wonderful program. And I feel like if I didn't have it, it would have made the transition a little harder. And um, again, I can say endless good things about this program. All of the advisors are great. I've met both Lily and Greg. I'm also a peer mentor, so I was a peer mentor for Aggie Jumpstart for 2 years. Um, so again, I have a lot I can say about this program. Again, Aggie Jumpstart is just a small part of UC Davis as a whole, and I feel like Davis has a lot of resources on campus that um, I would recommend really taking advantage of and exploring during your first year. There's so much out there and it can be a little overwhelming, but again, I feel like Aggie Jumpstart does a really, really good job of highlighting different resources around campus because again, there's so much everywhere and there's so much information, it can get very overbearing. So I feel like this program itself, again, I'm just plugging this program as hard as I can, does a really good job of highlighting all of that. A resource on campus other than Aggie Jumpstart that I'd really recommend for students to take a look at is the pantry, which helps give students food and just basic necessities when it comes to campus because sometimes college is expensive, and especially if you're first gen low income, you really want to take advantage of all of those resources. And I think the pantry is one that I really, really suggest students to look into. It's located at the Memorial Union. If you look up the pantry online and you search up UC Davis, it'll come up and it'll tell you exactly what to do. I think it's a really great resources. Another one that was mentioned earlier in the presentation is the retention initiatives. I really, really highly recommend going there. I think it's a great way to build community, take advantage of all of the resources they have there. I've gone to El Centro multiple times now because they're it's amazing. I really, really recommend it. Um, just a tip I have for everyone, when it comes to like finding resources and what you want to like resources on campus, I guess, a really good tip that I would have is to look on Instagram and to just look on different social media networks because a lot of promotion is done online as well. They know that um, a lot of students are online and have social media. So I would really recommend just searching up Davis on Instagram or searching up UCD and seeing what pops up. That's how I find a bunch of resources on campus. I I'm chronically online. It's not on my computer, it's on social media. So I really suggest doing that if you find it a little difficult to find resources. Again, just search up Davis, search up UCD, and you'll find plenty of resources, whether it's clubs, resources on campus, resources outside of campus, etc. But okay, I rambled a little too much and I'll let other people talk. So thank you guys for letting me ramble for a little bit.
Thank you, Michelle. And yeah, if you all have questions for Michelle or for any of our students who are going to be speaking right now, feel free to drop your questions in the Q&A as well too, or towards the end, whichever one you prefer. So we're going to move on to our next student experience here with Jasmine. And Jasmine, feel free to introduce yourself and talk a little bit more about your experiences with the Aggie Jumpstart program and at UC Davis.
Yeah. Hi guys. Hopefully my internet is working okay. Please let me know if my audio isn't working at any point, just stop me. And hopefully I'll be able to fix that. But my name is Jasmine. I am a human development and psychology double major. I have also been an Aggie Jumpstart peer mentor with Michelle for about 2 years now. And one of my favorite things about Aggie Jumpstart is that it provides so many opportunities and so many like different accesses to support for you. I know we have our advisors in here, and we also have our retention initiative centers in here as well, and also CDG. But another aspect about Aggie Jumpstart is the peer mentors themselves. Michelle, myself, and I believe Adamario is here as well. We are all peer mentors. We are all here to support you guys in on a more like a peer-to-peer situation. You guys all can always reach out to us with any kind of questions that you guys may have. We love to help you guys out. We love interacting with you guys. But yeah, so Aggie Jumpstart provides so many opportunities for you guys. I wrote in my little bio, my introduction right here is that we have the Aggie Jumpstart newsletter. So that's another great thing about Aggie Jumpstart is which has so many job opportunities, volunteer, internship, and just any kind of workshop that you guys can that you guys would like to do. We have that provided for you in the Aggie Jumpstart newsletter. And UC Davis in general is just a really great school. I love the atmosphere. I'm from the high desert down in SoCal. I'm not sure if any of y'all know where that's at, but it is very boring here. It is very dry and there's just so being up in Davis is so different. I love the greenery. I love that it's such like it's a walkable city as well. Like everything is so accessible to you as a student in UC Davis. And I love the world that UC Davis puts me in. It's like a completely different atmosphere than I'm at home. And, you know, I also wrote in my bio that plans are very simple in UC Davis because it's a small town vibe, and I really enjoy that. The small town vibe gives like a little buffer to the chaos that the quarter system can bring to us students. So I appreciate Davis for that in general, just for being like simple, you know, like I love the sunsets. The sunsets are beautiful. And if any of y'all have any questions about, you know, just being a student at UC Davis, any more questions about Aggie Jumpstart as well, or even changing majors, because that is something that Aggie Jumpstart also helped me figure out as well, is I came in as a completely different major than I am now. And I feel like I've really like grown and I have experienced a lot more beneficial things to my career than I did in my previous major. So if y'all have any questions about that or double majoring, anything at all, please feel free to let me know or let Michelle know or Adamari know if y'all have any to.
Thank you, Jasmine. Um, yeah, so let's see. We have a couple more students and who are going to share their experiences here. So moving over to Adamari. So Adamari, feel free to share a little about yourself and your experiences here at UC Davis and the Aggie Jumpstart program.
Hi, my name is Alamari Rojas. My pronouns are she, her. I am a sustainable environmental design major. My career goal is that I really want to work as a residential architecture. So after Davis, I plan on getting my master's in architecture. Um, what I love about this program is that when I myself was a AJS student my first year, I enjoyed the help and support I had from advisors and the career discovery professors. I know I mentioned this a lot, but my advisor was Greg my first year, and he really did help me when I was on academic probation because I had failed a class. And just having his support helped a lot and still means a lot to this day. Um, what I love about Davis is that it's very welcoming. I don't think I've ever met anyone that hasn't been nice or helpful in any way. And I just really enjoy how, although I'm from a big city, it's such a small and like big change for me, but I just enjoy it.
Awesome. Thank you, Adamari. And then we have one last student. She is not on our slides here. She doesn't have a picture here, but I just want to welcome Amy here, who is a recent graduate of UC Davis. And so, Amy, I don't know where you're at, but feel free to introduce yourself and talk a little about your experiences here at UC Davis and within the Aggie Jumpstart program.
Yes, thank you, Nick. Hello, everyone. My name is Amy Doe, pronouns she, her, hers. I graduated last week, crazy, with a degree in managerial economics where I emphasized in business agriculture. And I was an AJS student back in 2020. And for the next 2 following years, I was also an Aggie Jumpstart peer mentor. So currently, I'm an assessment analyst intern at UC Merced, where my role is to help universities utilize data and information to make decisions that benefit all university students. And my passion for this work stems from that firsthand experiences from programs like Aggie Jumpstart and retention initiatives like El Centro, positively impacting both my college journey and many of my friends. And so I hope that through my work, I continue to contribute to the UC system, like UC Davis and UC Merced's effort to create more equitable and supportive campus environments for all students. And that's why I'm really glad to come to events like this and meet you all, because your success is important and we're all here for you as a resource. And while I've been at UC Davis, something that I'm always proud to share was that I felt like there was truly a space for everybody on campus. As mentioned before, many times, UC Davis is the largest UC campus, and it could feel very overwhelming just going to class. But what really drew me to go to that university and accept were programs like Aggie Jumpstart and EOP and events like Aggie Senior Weekend Trip or Aggie Day. It was because the staff and faculty genuinely cared for my success, or it felt like that. And they really wanted me to make the most informed decision about choosing the right university for me, even if it wasn't UC Davis. So I really felt that care and support. And if I could leave you all with a little nugget or a piece of advice I would give to my freshman self, is to embrace every opportunity that comes your way. Your college experience is only rewarding if you step out of your comfort zone and open to trying new things like Aggie Jumpstart. And so seize every chance you can to learn, to grow, and get involved. But also remember to balance everything on your plate. Know how much you can hold, and how many things you can just balance and juggle in your schedule. I know you all are very smart, hardworking individuals. That's why you're here on this Zoom call and how you made it this far. But this is also a daily reminder to take breaks, to appreciate and congratulate yourself. And if you aren't giving yourself enough credit, know that we are all here and proud of you and recognize the hard work that you put in to get this far. So yeah, thank you all for listening, for attending, and I hope you take the chance to join Aggie Jumpstart, see if it's the right program for you. Thank you, Nick.
Thank you, Amy, for those words of wisdom. I know you just graduated. Again, congratulations on that just a week ago. And so, you know, we've had some of our former students come in and talk to our current students or future students as well too. So always, you know, a welcome sight to have our students kind of do that as well too. So hopefully for those who are here today, you're able to join our program and kind of get back in a way as well too. So which is always something to see, especially as you know, climb through your next 3-4 years, 2 years, however many years it is at UC Davis, you want to give back. This is a great opportunity to give back. So yeah, thank you all for all of our current and former Aggie Jumpstart students for sharing your experiences here at UC Davis as well as within the program. If y'all have any questions to any of those students about anything, whether it's, you know, what the program is like, what the advisors are like, what to do at UC Davis, what to do around UC Davis, for example, feel free to drop your questions in the Q&A as well too, and they'll be happy to answer any of those questions, or I could read them out loud, and then some of our students can also answer those questions as well too. And now we're about 14 minutes before the end of this webinar, before the end of this meet and greet. I'm willing to stay behind for a little bit to answer any questions if y'all have any questions afterwards as well too. But just for the sake of time, we're gonna move on so that way y'all know the next steps and what to do next. So yeah, just next steps, you know, what do we do now after we listen to all these things about, you know, different resources, our advisors, different student experiences, things like that. Well, the next step is probably logically to sign up for our program, right? And so our program, our application for our program is open. The deadline is Monday, July 8th. So in a couple of weeks from now, still plenty of time. So no worries on that. I know some of y'all have already applied. I see some very familiar names on the Zoom call right now, which is awesome. But the next steps is to register to sign up for our program. And so the registration process, the signing up process isn't relatively, you know, too difficult. Really, this is pretty much the application here. I would say, it's your first name, not first and last name. I would say student ID number, email, phone number, your major, and then we have 3 supplemental questions that really it's for us to kind of get to know who you are as a student. So, for example, one of these questions right here that's popping up right now is, what is one thing you are nervous about transitioning into UC Davis? And so that's really for us to know, so that way when we meet with you, whether it's through revising, whether it's through, during our events, or just when we're thinking about our programming and our events that we're trying to come up with, we can kind of tailor those type of events to those things as well too. So supplemental questions are really, I would say it's pretty simple. It's really about you, I would say. So just kind of talking about yourself and things that you kind of need help with, and things of that nature. And so again, apply. Our QR code is there. I'll drop the link in the chat here as well too. If I can find my chat here. And so let me drop the link real quick in the chat, so hopefully y'all can see that. But if y'all have any questions, feel free to, afterwards, if y'all have any questions, feel free to email the Aggie Jumpstart, email the program itself, so aggiejumpstart@ucdavis.edu, and also drop my email address in the chat as well too. If you want to directly email me for with any questions, feel free to do that as well too. But yeah, those are our next steps. And so I'm going to come back to this real quick, but follow us on Instagram too. Our Instagram is at Aggie Jumpstart UCD. QR code is up there as well too. Again, our webpage is also up there. I know y'all were probably browsing through our webpage. That's how you'll probably found the application, because I know some of y'all found the application before we even sent out emails to apply to the program, which is awesome. So our webpage is also up there as well too, with just more information about who we are as staff members, as advisors, and a little bit more about our program as well. So feel free to check that out. But if anyone has any questions, feel free to let us know now, either through the QA function. You can also mute yourself if you would like to. But I think just real quick, I think Lily and Greg would like to cover something real quick about advising. I'll give them some time to do that here real quick.
I think it was mostly me. I don't know if Greg even knows, but just wanted to clarify something that one of the students brought up, just asking a question about the difference between Aggie Jumpstart advisors and their major advisors. So if you are working your way through your Aggie advising modules on Canvas, you will see that there are at least two different types of advisors for students in the College of Agricultural and Environmental Sciences. There's the Dean's Office. We are generalists. Greg and I are Dean's Office advisors. We're also Aggie Jumpstart advisors. And so we're generalists for all the majors in our college and the majors and programs across the campus. And then those of you that have a declared major, you also have a major advisor. And so you will be seeing both of those folks, and we're going to help demystify that for you in our advising appointments. But your major advisor is going to give you major specific advising and course selection and information about the major. So in the Dean's Office, again, we're generalists. So if you're undeclared exploratory, you are also, we are your advisor in the Dean's Office. As an Aggie Jumpstart student, you have exclusive appointment access to Greg and my calendars based on who you will be assigned to. But as a student in the College of Agricultural and Environmental Sciences, whether you're an Aggie Jumpstart or not, you are always going to have access to the entire Dean's Office advising staff. I'm going to just say there's roughly 10 of us. So, and then after your first year in Aggie Jumpstart, you'll either continue to see Greg and myself, or you'll see other advisors in the Dean's Office. So just wanted to try to provide some context to that. So, so you'll have more than likely at least 2 advisors while you're a student at UC Davis in your major and in the Dean's Office.
Thank you, Lily. And then just real quick for all of our students who shared their experiences with everyone, if y'all would like to, you don't have to, but if you'd like to just drop your email in the chat below, or in the chat, I should say, feel free to do that. If you like some of our incoming students to maybe email you to ask you a little more about UC Davis or about the Aggie Jumpstart program, feel free to do that. Feel free to share your email address with our students. And then, yeah, and then I think another student had a question about advising. Well, it's kind of related to advising. And the question was just when can we start, or when can they start emailing or asking questions directly to advisors? So Lily or Greg, if y'all have any input on that or any answers to that.
Yeah, we have a couple of different answers to that question. Right now, it's okay to start reaching out for support with advising. We definitely recommend that more broadly for Davis that you do Aggie 101, your Aggie advising modules, because those are going to help prepare you for life at Davis in general. If you have a declared major, give you a lot of really useful information about that major. But then after you've completed those two things, that sort of gives you the base level of knowledge where now we can have really useful conversations with you. So at that point, you are welcome to reach out to the dean's office. We've got an email address, caesadvising@ucdavis.edu. You're also welcome to reach out to your major advisor. And of course, everyone is going to have different majors, so it's not one particular email address. But that's how advisors spend a lot of our summer, is working with incoming students in preparation for what they're going to register for in fall quarter, what they can do to help prepare themselves to be on campus, what placement exams they need to take, all of those kinds of things. Lily, other things you want to throw in there?
I would just say, just practice patience. It took you 4 years to make some amazing steps and accomplishments to be accepted to UC Davis. Really, the next sort of deadline is the Aggie Jumpstart deadline for us. You want to make sure you're looking at your My Admissions to see what else you may need to be looking at for housing or anything like that, or financial aid. But July 8th is the Aggie Jumpstart deadline, and you're not registering until August. So it's okay. It's okay. And we just want you to, get through your modules. Most of the questions you might have are in the Aggie advising modules. So yeah, so just practice patience and be kind to yourself and enjoy your summer.
Definitely piggyback on Lily for enjoying your summer. I wish I would have done that before I went to college. So definitely enjoy your summer before you start everything, restart all the craziness here and all the hecticness. But I know some other questions kind of came to me directly, and so I just want to kind of cover some of those things. So after applications close on July 8th, expect to hear back from us within 2 to 3 weeks. So just kind of expect that timeline. If you are accepted into a program, sort of the start date of our program doesn't really begin until like September 23rd, Monday, September 23rd, because that's our orientation. So that's like our official start date of our program, but there's not really an official start date. You officially start when you are accepted into the program, I would say. And so, but our first event of our program is our orientation and kickoff event. So that's Monday, September 23rd. It's tentative for that right now, so that might change. So I'm just kind of throwing that out there right now, but that's sort of our official start date there. So it's a few days before classes officially begin, and so if you can't make it to that orientation kickoff event, if you get accepted into the program, we'll reach out to you later on. But don't worry too much about that yet, because applications haven't even closed yet. So don't worry about that. And again, that event itself will also go towards your quarterly rewards as well too. Another question that was asked was just how many students are accepted into our program. I think our average acceptance rates is about maybe 65 to 70 students each year. And so that's sort of our going rate right now. But we can expect anywhere between sometimes as low as 60, sometimes as high as 70. So it really depends on what the application kind of looks like and how much space we have within our program. And so I know as I was talking, I just saw an application come through. So thank you all for applying to that, for applying to our program so quickly. Like I said, application is really simple. The sign-up process is really simple. So make sure to sign up if you are interested in our program, but plenty of time to really kind of to sign up for our program. But if anyone has any questions, feel free to let us know. We are still here. Let us know in the, you can directly send me a message through the chat, or you can ask us through the Q&A function as well too, whichever one you prefer. But yeah, does anyone have any questions? Feel free to let us know. Or if anyone else has anything in addition to that that maybe we missed or I missed. We don't have any information in Spanish, but if you like some information about Spanish, I don't speak Spanish, but maybe maybe Lily might be able to cover that, or one of our peer mentors might be able to cover some of those questions you have in Spanish. But feel free to reach out to us if you have any questions about that. And I could probably throw our Aggie Jumpstart email here in the chat real quick. So that way y'all have that. If you already or let's see, if you already submitted your application, you don't have to resubmit it. If you want to add more information, feel free to just email us, just so that way it's not like the application isn't bottled up in our system, and through our emails as well too. So if you want to add more information to your application, feel free to email us with additional information. So that way we have that, and then we'll just add it on to your already completed application. Any other questions? We have about a minute, but I'll stay behind for a little bit as well too.